What is something that is so 1990s and early 2000s? See-through electronics and blow-up furniture. Those see-through Game Boys and Nintendo controllers were something else. Any kid that possessed those was automatically so much cooler than you with your pathetic gadgets you couldn't see the insides of. I swapped the casing on my Switch controllers to the purple see-through. I feel like a king and people fall at my feet everywhere I go. I can't believe no one has mentioned CD burners. Those were a mind-blowing novelty at the time that enabled custom CD mixes. The early CD burners were notoriously unreliable, and any physical disturbance could throw off the burn. In my dorm, we'd all creep out of the room quietly and go to dinner while the sacred CD burning was taking place. A friend of mine said he couldn't do anything on his computer while he was burning a CD or it'd fail. Like, he couldn't even load a web page prior to starting the burn and scroll through it during the burn or it would fail. The computer had to be completely idle for the burn to work. Fast forward just a few years, to 2004, and a different friend of mine was burning me a DVD while he played the beta of World of Warcraft. I was over while he was doing it and was like, the burn is going to fail if you're trying to play a game while you do it. I remember he was like, no, that's not a thing anymore. It'll be fine. And the DVD did work fine, by the way. Yep, my first CD burner was a USB 1.1 external thing that I ran on my Windows 98 machine. It was capable of burning at 2x speed, but I always ran it at 1x because of better stability and odds of succeeding, which meant it took 60 to 80 minutes to burn a disk. And you definitely couldn't touch the computer in any way whatsoever while it was doing its thing. Even so, around 1 in 3 disks would just fail anyway, usually during the very last finishing step. Me and my cousin would then play with the failed disks as frisbees, leaving the street outside our house covered in little plastic shards. Nights and weekends minutes. It was free after 9 p.m. It cost like 10 cents to text, and the only time minutes were free was if you were with the same carrier. None of my friends had Sprint, so I couldn't even count on using the same network for free minutes during the day. Video game demo discs. Your computer giving you permission to turn it off. These days it's even just turning your computer off at all. So many times a coworker will tell me something's not working with their laptop and we'll have this conversation. Me, have you restarted it recently? Coworker, yeah. Like 10 times. Me, show me how you restarted it. CW, puts it to sleep, wakes it back up. Me, no, you have to go into the start menu and actually choose restart. Does this. CW, IRL, it's the same thing. Laptop restarts, oh, wait, it works now. Thanks. Flip phone. Especially cool, futuristic flip phones, like in The Matrix. For all the people who commented about how the Matrix phones aren't flip phones. You remember how Mom used to call all your game consoles, Nintendo? I'd have called them Atari. GeoCities. I absolutely loved GeoCities. Making websites about the things you enjoyed. Seeing other people's websites. You didn't have to stick with a pre-made layout, you could go nuts. Want that dancing GIF on there? Sure thing. Why not 100? Linkin Park just released a song? Better make sure that MIDI autoplays when my page loads. Want to know how many people have visited? Well, fuck yes, you can add a guest counter to your page too. You know what? Chuck in a guest book as well. God bless that chaotic mess of joy. Blockbuster. My family beating a classmate's family to grab the last copy of The Matrix, Memories man. The memories. peer-to-peer file sharing programs like Napster, BearShare, Kazaa, LimeWire, etc. You could never trust song labels. Every single parody song was suddenly Weird Al, and it would suck when you thought you found a new or obscure song by a band you loved and it was actually a song you already knew by them, or sometimes a song by a different band altogether. That movie that you wanted to download, which was always in several huge parts that would take hours to days to download, ends up being porn you didn't want. That porn that you really wanted, ends up being a beheading video. It was so chaotic and random and full of viruses that would fuck your computer too. Those were crazy days and you never really knew what to expect. Was like the Wild West. Video game rumors that spread around playgrounds because no one had the internet to disprove it. There's a cheat code for Tomb Raider to make Lara have sex with the old man butler. Lei Wulong can one-shot kill any opponent with his gun if you do the right combo in Tekken 2. In Japan there is a new series of Dragon Ball and it has Super Saiyan 5. As a kid, getting to be taken up to the cockpit to meet the pilots on an international flight if you asked nicely. Going through voice messages and getting thrilled when it's a girl you gave your number to the last weekend asking to make plans this weekend. You call back, make plans and meet in person. All the flirting was always in person. You had to actually have in-person game or you were fucked. Furby. Funny story about Furbies. My grandparents bought a whole bunch of them for all of their grandchildren when they first became popular. Everyone else's was a normal, English-speaking Furby. Mine spoke German. Not only that, but the batteries I put in mine were on their way out, so I woke up at 3 a.m. to demonic, slurred German emanating from the Furby. I freaked the fuck out. Chunks, or big fat streaks, of brassy blonde hair, strategically placed in about 14 spots around the head, usually on the top layer only. There was a little box tie kit called L'Oreal Chunking that I frequently used, complete with chunking cap. TBH, I rocked the fuck out of that look. New Year's Eve, 1999, also freaking out that computers couldn't handle dates and whatnot for the new millennium. Fortunately the company I had a non-IT job with had a genuine Y2K problem with their old mainframe. They were happy to let me move to IT as an extra pair of hands because I knew Windows 95/98, even though I dropped out of school with 0 qualifications. Thank you Y2K, you gave me the start of a career. You're not going to get a job sitting on your ass filling out online applications. Do you think they actually look at those? My first online application got me the best job of my youth, took forever and I thought it would never be seen. Then being like, oh shit, it works? Cool. I remember walking around with paper resumes before that. Fluffy fashion and accessories, fluffy scrunchies, fluffy wristbands, you get the idea. Strappy tube tops and 10 separate necklaces worn at once to layer the look. People treating nerds like social outcasts for some reason. The faint smell of vinyl and new plastic like everywhere. Setting up a get-together and people just remember when to show up. Actually, get-togethers worked better then. People couldn't text and cancel with nearly the convenience they do now. Plus, we were bored with no internet, so we had motivation to get together. Messing with the coaxial cable on the back of your 100-pound, 20 inches CRT TV, only a slight exaggeration. Kids these days will never know the feeling of being zapped by an old CRT TV or almost being crushed to death by one. That or trying to play your Game Boy in the back seat of the car at night and trying to catch a streetlight so you can see what you're doing.